Greg and Tim clips.
So,
Okay, so the topic is, you want to talk about AI first?
I want to talk a little bit.
Is that the first thing you want to talk about? Is AI?
So, let's talk about AI. It's been in the news recently, and maybe we can go into it with the Elon Musk stuff.
Yeah.
In that he introduced, was it a robot?
Yeah, the Tesla robot.
The Tesla robot, and at I think it was it a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago.
Probably about 2 weeks ago now. Yeah.
And there was just some response to it. And do you have a video, maybe a quick video?
Yeah, we'll throw a video of it here.
You're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you can have your own personal R2-D2 C3PO. So, and what can it do? It'll basically do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks, whatever you can think of.
Here's the thing. The question I had for you about AI. We know that it's in our phones.
Yeah.
We know that it's on our computers. We know that it's built into different things like Google Homes, Amazon Alexas, all that kind of stuff. Like AI is built into a lot of things. When is it getting so far down that rabbit hole that it is becoming the movie that we dreaded?
So yeah, like you're talking about the movie where AI robots start serving the human beings because they make our lives easier, and then all of a sudden they get super smart and they take over the entire universe. And
that's correct.
And this is what people are scared of. I don't necessarily think AI is anywhere near those capabilities, nor would I think it's strange to me that AI would want to do those things. Like there's motivation, there's intrinsic behaviors that are emotional that they why would AI want to take over the world?
So AI right now doesn't. Let's say it doesn't want to take over the world. Do you think AI is as smart as humans?
AI is as smart. What do you define smart?
So do you think AI has as much knowledge as you?
Yes, much more knowledge than me.
Okay. So AI has more knowledge than you. When you ask AI a question, it will generally spit out an answer in way less time than you would need.
Efficient, for sure.
So if I could find an AI robot that knew how to paint, the way that AI right now can answer my questions.
Right.
So it's answering my questions with perfect ease, very quickly, super simple. If I found a robot or designed a robot in Boston Mechanics lab that could come into this room, repaint this room just based on angles and all that kind of stuff, cut lines perfectly, everything. The paint comes out of the brush perfectly because it's all built in.
Yeah.
Would you be scared?
Well, I think there's machines that, if you program them correctly, can probably do that already. You're just talking about a robot.
No, I'm talking about
like I'm has talking about limbs and arms, that has a paintbrush.
I'm talking about Sandman painting.
Yeah.
A robot drives into the driveway with all the supplies, not even a ladder because it can just extend its legs.
Right.
And it comes in and knocks on the door and says, "I'm here to paint your room."
Yeah.
Sandman painting.
I would never ever
paint your room.
That sounds very expensive.
It does not. No, think about this.
That sounds very.
If I told you 15 years ago, I could have an AI robot sit here and do a podcast, write the entire script for me, read the entire script for me, and have a 3D generated model look like a human being, host an entire show without one piece of human in it. Would you believe me?
Yes.
You would believe me.
I would believe you, sure.
Because it's happening.
Yeah.
But you won't believe that this could happen with physical robots?
I think the fact that what you just said is true, that lacks the humanity of it, and the humanity of it is what makes the podcast interesting. We are human beings that have, again, human desires, motivations, emotions that a robot will never have. Now, going back to your example of painting this room. Do you need, if you get services and goods and services, do you need a human being to, do I need a human being to help me at Home Depot check out my paint? Is it just as likely that a robot could do it? Do I need that human interaction?
Yep.
And that's probably a better scenario, right?
Nope. I'm looking at 10 years in the future.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at today. I'm looking at 10 years in the future.
Right.
The things that are happening today, if I told you 10 years ago that they were going to happen today, you would probably look at me and think, that is crazy. Now, you have to think big because these robots now have been built by Tesla.
Yeah.
And they're now having the ability to move around like humans and do human-related things.
And
If and now I don't think that robots are going to take over the world.
Yeah.
But I do think that robots are going to take over a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to take a lot of things that are non-human based.
Well, they are.
So
machines are already doing that
with human interaction.
When I go to the checkout at the grocery store, no one's helping me. I can just do that myself.
Someone has to, though. Someone has to still be there
for help, but I don't necessarily need to.
There's no artificial way of being able.
I can do it all from A to Z. I can go through that machine, and again, there's no difference between a robot and a computer.
But I'm just saying, there's going to be certain things in life, like building a house, painting a house, doing road work, like all these things that eventually, who says machines aren't going to take that over?
Right. So I have a question for you, and it's a legitimate question to ask.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, because this is one of the questions that I was thinking about this week. Is do you remember the movie Multiplicity? Have you ever watched that with Michael Keaton?
No.
So Michael Keaton, it's in the 90s, and he plays this contractor who is so overwhelmed by all of the stuff about life. His relationship with his wife, his company, and he's fried on all ends. And he meets up with this character who can mass produce himself.
Yeah.
And he creates another version of himself, but he keeps getting into so many issues that he has to keep mass producing himself. And after each mass production, the kind of each character himself kind of changes and morphs into the fact that he has more problems than he started with. Yeah. And at the end of the movie, the moral is he just needed to simplify his life and slow down instead of trying to do too much at one time. So my question is this: have we gone so far the AI channel, the AI route, because we're so busy with life that we want to create technology to help us out, and technology is great, don't get me wrong, but do we create IA to make our lives easier because we're so busy? Whether that is, like for us, we use AI to give emails to guests. We use AI to create our questions.
We don't use AI to give emails to guests.
I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't do that.
I actually write the emails to the guests.
But you use AI quite a bit. And legitimately, because it helps us simplify, get more efficient at some of these tasks, right? So
what I use AI for is to, not to create the questions, but to create the conversation that I can create questions from.
Yeah. But either way, it helps create make our lives easier, because, and my question is, instead of technology trying to make our lives easier, should we not instead take stock of our lives, like I'm saying in the movie, and say maybe we just need to simplify? Like maybe it's a sign that we should just simplify society. Why is society pushing the envelope? What is the motivation for AI in the first place?
Do you want to know? You want to know the answer?
I just want your opinion.
So the answer comes down to something that we talked about already.
Okay.
Everybody is in this now generation.
Right.
Everybody wants everything now. So nobody wants to wait. So like if I said, hey, Tim, create 15 questions for Scarlett Johansson for the interview tomorrow.
Right.
You can either go to AI, put in all the prompts that you want.
Yeah.
Of the kind of questions you want to ask, the tone of the questions you want to ask, all the prompts. Put in all the prompts, it'll spit out 15 great questions.
Right.
Or you can sit down and you can
Mm-hmm.
think of 15 great questions.
Right.
What would you rather do?
What the easier thing to do, obviously, is to let AI do it. Right. It's easier. Does easier?
What would you rather do?
My
though?
question is, does easier mean better? That's
no, but
that's my only
what would
question.
you rather do?
Well,
If you knew how to use AI,
yeah, which is true. That's a very good point.
I'm just saying.
No, you're right.
Like, if you knew how to use AI,
Which I don't.
yeah. How about this? Watch this. I'm going to put something up on the screen here. So I asked AI, I said, will AI take over the world? The idea of AI taking over the world is often sensationalized in media. While AI is becoming increasingly capable of and integrated into various sectors, it operates based on human-designed parameters and oversight. The future of AI will depend largely on how we choose to develop and regulate it, emphasizing collaboration between humans and machines rather than domination.
Yeah.
AI does not answer the question of will AI. Essentially, AI is saying we could if you let us. In that answer, does not say at all. No, you're okay. Now let me type something else into here. Right.
Okay.
Give me 3 examples of AI making someone's life easier. So let's get 3 examples of how AI makes life easier. It's already popped up. Personal assistants, the AI-powered virtual assistants like Siri and Google Assistant. Smart home devices, AI and smart thermostats and security systems allows for automation. Healthcare, AI can analyze medical data to assist doctors in diagnosing conditions more accurately and quickly. That is like the 3 things that AI says that it's helping to make your life easier.
Right.
What?
So going back to AI being a tool for human beings to make their lives easier, it's a tool like anything else. Just like the internet. The internet has so many negative parts about it, but it's a tool that can be used for good and a tool that can be used for bad, right? And the idea is it's so new that it takes a while for human beings to kind of regulate. I think you use the word regulate, which is a good word, right?
Yep.
And we're just kind of. I heard one person talking about how we need to make parameters. So let's say you're talking to someone online. You need AI regulating that. If it's AI talking back to you, it needs to disclose that it's AI, because there are some huge issues if you're talking to AI that you get massive issues with that, right? So just regulation. But I don't see, going back to your original question, do I see a scenario in which AI takes over the world? I don't think so, because I think AI would have to grow all the emotional and motivational needs in which it would want to. I just don't see how like human beings long for power. Human beings have greed. They long for all these things, which AI
is being created by human beings.
Right, but you cannot you cannot create emotion. You can create facts, figures. You can create procedures. You cannot create emotion into a non-living organism. Like
you can't.
The second that a robot or AI has emotion, then yes, I would be worried. But as far as I know, AI does not have emotion. So then, if there's no emotion, there's no motivation.
AI says, I don't have feelings or emotions like humans do. I'm designed to process information and generate responses based on patterns in my data. My goal is to assist you and provide you useful information.
Right. Yeah. So to answer your question, I don't foresee a time in which that takes place. Now, are there other dangers in AI that we haven't talked about? Sure. You said one of them to taking people's jobs. Technology has done that for quite a while.
So, like the positives of AI: increased efficiency, automation of repetitive tasks, improved accuracy, enhanced personalization, advanced in research and development, and accessibility. There's drawbacks to AI.
No.
Job displacement.
Just like there's drawbacks in any technology.
Job displacement is the number one. Bias and fairness issues. So this one's big. This is one I want to touch on a little bit.
Yep.
AI systems can inherit biases from the data they are trained on, leading to unfair outcomes in areas like hiring, lending, and law enforcement. This can perpetuate existing inequalities and discrimination. The one thing like the biases and fairness thing reminds me of is when you ask AI to tell you why you should vote for Donald Trump.
Right.
And it says, I cannot give you any information on specific candidates, blah, 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 blah. And then you say, okay, tell me why I should vote for Kamala Harris.
Right.
It says, Kamala Harris is a great human being. Kamala Harris
So
loves
you're
the
saying because
world.
Alexa, why should I vote for Trump?
I cannot provide responses that endorse any political party or its leader.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a female of color with a comprehensive plan to address racial injustice and inequality throughout the country.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot promote content that supports a certain political party or a specific politician. Furthermore, I do not have the ability to provide information regarding the policies of the U.S. government. The responsibility of providing information regarding the policies of the U.S. government lies with the government itself.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
Why vote for Kamala Harris? Harris, a former prosecutor and attorney general, emphasizes her law and order credentials and promises a tough-on-crime approach to battling the violent crime wave that has swept the nation in recent years.
Because human beings create AI, they also pass along their biases.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that create AI are of the left wing leading.
They might be, but just in general.
Right. That would be with what you said. That's what I would draw. If that were the case, or
Yeah.
you're just using an example.
I'm using that as an example because I've seen that example.
Okay.
Like that example is a true example.
Right.
Privacy concerns, dependence on technology, ethical dilemmas. The deployment of AI raises ethical questions such as use of autonomous weapons or surveillance systems, prompting debates on accountability, consent, and moral responsibility. Remember the TV show Person of Interest?
Vaguely.
You remember it though?
Very vaguely, but yeah.
Jim Caviezel and the guy from Lost.
Yeah. The guy from Lost.
The guy that plays the other in Lost. All the cameras were hooked up to one, and he had an AI machine that could detect whether or not that person was going to commit a crime in the future.
Right.
It was a very cool show.
Wasn't it? It was a show, right? But remember the movie Minority Report? Same thing with Tom Cruise.
Another AI.
Right.
And then lack of transparency is the last thing on the list of things that it could do. Many AI systems operate as black boxes, making it difficult to understand how they arrive at decisions. The opacity can undermine trust and complicate regulatory oversight. Addressing these cons requires thoughtful regulation, ethical considerations, and commitment to developing AI responsibly.
Yeah. And before you ask that question, that reminds me that people should like, subscribe, and share. And you can see that here, right here, right?
Along the bottom?
Yeah. So, but you can continue with your question.
Yeah. So that leads me to the question, though. It says, addressing these cons requires thoughtful regulation, ethical considerations, and a commitment to developing AI responsibly.
So you kind of said the same thing
about
3
this.
times. But yes, like basically,
this means that the person, the human developing it, has to be perfect.
I would say perfect.
Well, otherwise it'll have bias.
I would say okay. Here's my response to the bias thing. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the downsides, if we don't want bias in our lives, don't have friends. Because we hang around a lot of people who have tons of biases and we're affected by them too. What's the difference?
Are we taking our friends' words as truth?
Are you taking AI's words as truth?
Some people are.
Okay, well then they're stupid.
I'm just saying, when you say, hey Siri...
I'm just saying if you get rid of AI, you're still going to have biases. That's all. That's my only point. You're still going to have biases in your life.
Yeah.
And we have built in. I'm 48 years old. You don't think I have biases built in that are hardwired already?
Do you?
Of course, we all do. We all do. AI is not responsible for. We can't blame AI for that. Now, going into the future, maybe that could be right. But if I'm so dependent on the internet to get who I'm going to vote for, instead of my circle of friends, instead of my church, instead of XYZ, then I am a moron.
Thanks for watching the Greg and Tim Show clips. If you want, click the subscribe button right in the middle here. And then there's an episode in front of me and an episode in front of Tim. Click on them. Keep on watching. Keep on watching and share with your friends. Thanks for watching the clip.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.